This is the introduction video to Matt's Multicade arcade machine, which I built 100% from scratch. Just to give you an idea how it works, I'll put it on for you. The paint job I did on the buttons wasn't so good. I mean, you can tell it's not done professionally, but for now it'll do. Anyways, first we'll start by switching it on with the main power switch in the back. It's actually a switch set in a little bit so you can still put the machine flush against the wall. Once you turn that on, then the system has power. Okay, the power's now onto the machine, but as you see, it's still not turned on. One little feature I put in here is I got a power button that won't turn it on unless the admin switch is turned. Now it's powering up. The whole point of this is so like when I turn it off when the game's on, that way kids and stuff can push it and it won't turn the machine on and off. It's basically inactive without that key. But right now it's starting up. Alright, now it's coming on to the opening video.
That's Multicade!
I actually had to cut the quality down on that video just because a high quality video was freezing the thing up for some reason, so I had to cut the quality down a lot. Alright, now what you see is it brings you into the main menu here. Alright, this is all the arcade games. As you go down through the list, you see pictures of each game and different things that come up. But now let's say we want to play a game. You just hit the player one start. The loading screen comes up. Alright. And then it gets into the game itself. And then once that's on, what you can do is you can put a coin into the coin mechanism to add credits, or one thing that I was having trouble with is most games you could put a coin in the player one slot and you can do player one or player two off the same coins. However, there's a couple games where you have to have player one coins and player two coins. So instead of buying another coin mechanism or a double door, what I decided to do is install a three-way switch right here. If the switch is to the left and you put a coin in, player one gets the credit. If you put the switch to the right and put a coin in, now player two gets the credits. Basically what I'm doing is splitting the 5-volt line so that I don't have to buy a whole other coin mechanism. But another thing with this coin mechanism that I had to do is I had to install a diode in line because the coin mechanism produces a 12-volt signal and the board I'm running on the inside is actually a 5-volt board, and I didn't want to risk doing any damage, so I had to cut it down to 5 volts. Here we're going to go ahead and put a coin in. In this case I have it set to Bellagio tokens instead of real money. There, it accepted it. You press player one start, and then you can play the game as normal. Now let's say you want to do it in free play mode, which most of the time it's going to be in. There's a player one coin button here and a player two coin button, which you see don't work. They don't do nothing. That's what this key's for. You turn it to free play mode on. Now that it's on, you can keep adding coins to it. So that's another easy way to do it. Now when you're done playing your game, there's this escape button that'll actually get you out into the main programming so you can choose another game. But no matter what you do, you can't get out of this program or into any of the settings. That way it's pretty much kid safe. Nobody can mess around with settings or anything else. All they can do is choose a game or play it. Now you have the option that when you're into a game, I can unhook the button and then they have to play what's there. And they have no other choice but one game to play. Another cool thing that I added to this, if you get tired of playing about 5,000 arcade games, which that's what it's going to end up being in the end. Right now I probably have about 4,000 of them ready to go. Right now I have a feature enabled that you can use the second player joystick to switch emulators, but I can turn that on and off too. That's another feature I can adjust. But I just tap it to the right, and now I have all the original Nintendo games. So you can scroll down through the list and pick any of the original Nintendo games. Just hit player 1 start. Goes to the loading screen, and a whole nother emulator loads. And then it's into the classic game. Anyways, when you want out of that, you do the same trick, hitting that, and it gets you right back into the main program again. Programming. If you look down here at the control panel, I kind of made a diagram up just to show you what the classic controller looks like versus what buttons are going to work. As you see, the coin button now is select instead of coin, and start still start. And then the first 2 buttons are the only one used, which are the A and B buttons on the regular Super Nintendo controller. Now, if you get tired of playing all the original Nintendo games, you can hit it again, and you got all the original Super Nintendo games, the Sega Master System games, Sega 32X games, the Sega Mega Drive game, which is the Genesis that everybody knows it as, Sega 1000. You got Sega Game Gear, all those games. Nintendo 64. You got all the Nintendo 64 games in there. And right now I have PC games. Like I just have House of the Dead 1 and 2 on here, but there's going to be a few more. I have Game Boy Advanced on here, but I took it off because I'm having trouble with the escape key, because for some reason you need some it needs a little bit of maintenance on it to get it to work correctly. And I have about 2,500 original Atari games, but they're not on here yet because I'm having trouble with the emulator. But either way, every game works exactly the same. That's how I set up the programming. You just hit start, and then it gets into the game. Now this is a computer game that's actually booting up. It's not using an emulator. It's the original House of the Dead. And then same thing. Hit escape just to get out of it to go back into the main program. Another feature that I have on here right now is if you hit up and down on the second player control during the main menu screen, you can actually switch between like favorite lists. Like right there's Josh's favorites, you got Joe's favorites. Basically another way of organizing it. Another thing is there's a lot of Japanese adult games. I'm keeping them in a separate organization folder. That way, if kids are playing it, I'm going to disable switching between menus, and the only thing they can play is the main ones that I've right now. I've personally played 96 of them out of like 4,000 that are on here right now. If you go to all games, it's about 4,000. But anyways, I'm going to play each one to make sure there's nothing adult and that all the controls work. Because some of them need a little bit of adjustment as far as the controls, but then once they're all set, I move them to the main, and then it's safe for anybody to play. But anyways, that's just a brief overview of my machine, how it works. And like I said, when people come over, a lot of times they like to mess with me and get into settings and stuff like that, just see me get mad. So in order to get past that is to make everything kid-proof. And I think I pretty much got this kid-proof, because without the master keys to get in anywhere, nobody can do any damage. They can only play the games that I'm supplying. My goal here is I'm probably about at 5,000 or more games right now, and I want to get to about 10,000 games total. And then I think my machine's going to be complete. So I have a lot of games now that aren't on here that'll probably equal to about 7,000 games that I'm currently at. But there's a lot more, because I want to try to get GameCube and original PlayStation and everything on here yet too. But working in with my programming can be a little tough. But I had to do adjustments for each one so far, so I'm sure I can do it again. Anyways, as far as maintenance, what I've did when I designed this is I designed this bottom panel to actually open up. Now that is 100% original. You just turn the key, and then you can actually get access to all the electronics in here. And I've installed a 12-volt light system that runs off of a 12-volt line that pretty much powers everything. It pretty much turns on the lights. You just shut it, lock it, and then nobody can get in there. Another feature that was added for so I can easily update is on the back there was a Ethernet port installed, so you can stick a custom Ethernet line in, and when you plug it in, you can plug it right into the router, and my computer in the computer room will actually detect it, and I can add any games I want and make changes and even run the programming from the computer in the room. And then once I do that, just come out here, restart this, and all the changes will have effect. So I never have to open it again, and just for one little wire I can change everything from in the room. I'm in the computer room right now, and as you see, the Multicade network drive popped up, so I can just actually go into it and add and take things out and do what I need to. When you're done playing everything and you want to shut the system down, you just simply turn the key to on, press the power button, and it shuts down. And that's it. That is the whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how Matt's Multicade arcade machine works. Tons of work went into making this thing, and I'm very happy how it turned out, how it's working. So I hope you enjoyed it.